What about federal control? I mean, is KBRA going to turn Klamath over to the federal government?
Well, I got something to say about that, but I've been talking a lot.
Go for it.
Well, this is all what I call about local self-determination. Inside the Klamath Basin Restoration Agreement, we have set up the Klamath Basin KBCC. I never can remember the acronym for it. Coordination Council. And folks that in my neck of the woods, we've had the federal government driving our boat for a long, long time. And we have been what I call the third party outside looking in when we were talking about water management. This gives us a seat at the table. It gives the county a seat at the table. It gives the irrigators seats at the table. So when we have water and resource management conversations, we are a party to that conversation, which we do not enjoy in the status quo. So for us, the restoration agreement is a huge, giant leap for us to have self-determination, to be a part of the process, and maybe it is even a what I would call a to become independent of what I would call our federal nexus, our contracts too, because it's just another way that we can resolve environmental issues, tribal trust issues, and everything, which would be our ideal situation in the future, is to not have those responsibilities, and the only way we do that is basically resolve and quiet those issues.
And so I can't stop. So I mean, this is a really, really big issue, I think, and it's the opposite of Joe. More government control. There's bureaucracy, and there's going to continue to be bureaucracy. But I mean, Dan, when you were at the Water Users Association, I mean, that was the big deal. Applicant status, right? I mean, it was. There are discussions going on about biological opinions that are going to determine how much water our folks get, and we are not in the room.
We couldn't even sit at the table with our own biologists to compare science.
Right. Oh. And so it was a driving force for us to be involved in these resource decisions that affect our folks. So Steve laid it out very nicely. I mean, it changes things for the better. It fundamentally changes what has been wrong with the management of the system here. And so, yes, it gives irrigators a seat at the table, including off-project irrigators. And to me, and the county, and my goodness, it's unbelievable to me that we would even ask the question of, we have a signed agreement. This thing's, people have signed it. It's not going away. It is not going away. Why in the heck would we not want our county government involved in that process? It's unbelievable to me.
So, speaking of that, I mean, that's kind of the whole topic of this, and we need to kind of probably, get into kind of a conclusion mode here. Yeah. But this question needs to be asked. Say the voters of the county vote in a way that says we don't want Klamath County involved anymore in these discussions. It's an advisory measure. The commissioners can do what they want when they see this, but say that the voters advise that that's what they ought to do, and the county backs out. Does this process stop then?
The process doesn't stop. What happens is the elected officials that Klamath County elects will no longer be in the process, and those that are left in the process, and if people are worried about the federal family and other entities running the show, basically what you do is you surrender that to them. So it is probably one of the most foolish things that the electorate could do, is to give up their elected representation, whether you like restoration agreement and hydro agreement or not. You would certainly want to have your elected representatives at the table representing you in those continued conversations, because the conversation will not end.
So that just brings up an interesting question in my mind. And I'm just curious, some of the folks that are supporting this measure that ultimately says we don't want a seat at the table, are they some of the same folks that said we'd never had a seat at the table?
Yes.
So on the one hand, we never had a seat at the table, and on the other, we don't want one?
Yes.
I wish they were here to explain it, Joe.
So hi, they were invited.
So again, to take that another step further, what could happen, though? I mean, say the county is no longer involved, and that, I guess, recourse is lost to our citizenry here. What is, what, in your view, realistically, what kind of bad impact could that have on the progress of this settlement actually being implemented and moving forward?
It certainly creates a confused political environment. The next step in the process is to get authorization so we can start implementation, so we can start fixing the problems. It doesn't end that problem, but it certainly takes what I will call, it would compromise what I would call some of the local support that should be occur. In other words, people that are our congressional representatives should surely have the support to fix problems. And they're looking to us. How many times have we been to talk to our representatives in Washington, D.C. and say, get everybody at the table, everybody come together and provide a solution. And we believe that we have done that. And then for a local community to not understand what's going on and to subvert that problem would become it would become uncomfortable. I wouldn't say not impossible, but it becomes uncomfortable. And then that doesn't allow what I would call our good representatives to participate like we would like to have them in the process, potentially. They'll decide that. They're politicians. They'll make their choice.